Okay, good afternoon all. And so to do some PowerPoint problems, so my class, I adjusted my class, postponed my class to morning to afternoon. And I think in the morning DLT class was taken by Fahmi Yadav sir. So now I am going to today we are going to discuss the analysis of CA amplifier using H parameter model. Using H parameter model here. And in the last class, what we seen, we have seen that three different types of the configurations like CE, CB, CC, and we try to draw the H parameter model of all the three configurations with the three different equations, H parameter equations. And also we seen that the typical values of H parameters also. That is the typical values of HI, HF, HRE, so something like this. We have some table and we have seen that. Okay. So today class we are going to analyze CA amplifier using H parameter model. Okay, so that how we can analyze the C amplifier, how we can calculate the parameters like voltage gain, current gain, input impedance and output impedance, the four parameters, so how we can calculate that. Okay, that we are going to see. Okay, so first note down, there is a procedure for AC analysis. Now let us see that AC analysis procedure. Then we'll move to the derivation part. Okay, am I audible, all of you? Can anyone respond?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Please take the heading. Note down that procedure for AC analysis of CA amplifier. Okay, so step 1 is connect all DC sources to ground. That is the first we have to do it. Connect all DC sources to ground. And that we need to do. So whenever you're having that some circuit diagram of CE, CB, CC, first thing if you want to apply the AC analysis, first you have to do that. So connect all DC sources, whatever the DC sources are there in the circuit, you connect it to the ground. And next step 2, okay, replace all capacitors with short circuit. Okay, so in the first step also for the DC analysis, when you're doing the DC biasing, we assume that the capacitors are open circuit, because the capacitor acts as open circuit for the DC signal and acts as a short circuit for AC signal. So now we are doing that AC analysis now. So already DC analysis over in the last class, that is the DC biasing. Okay, so that only we to set the operating point, we have done that DC biasing. Now after setting the operating point, we made some constructions and we add some flush and everything like to the circuit diagram, like by taking some proper values of the resistor values, capacitor values, and we designed one C amplifier. Now we are going to calculate how much the gain, the voltage gain and current gain, input impedance and output impedance it is offered by the C amplifier. Okay, so that we are going to calculate now. If you know that estimated output or estimate, I mean, if you know that the output, what is the output that you are going to get, then based on that you can do some other modifications in the circuit so that you can get more current gain or more voltage gain or less input impedance. So what depends on your requirement. You can do some kind of the modifications until if you know that output. Okay, so by doing some troubleshoot or something else, you can do that. So for that, we have for estimating that output, now we are going to the analysis. We are going to do that AC analysis for the circuit diagram. So for that, the first step 1 is connect all the DC source to the ground, that I have to do, and the step 2 is replace all capacitors with a short circuit. Okay, and the third step is, and the step 3 is okay. So draw the equivalent circuit Draw the equivalent circuit. Okay. After draw the equivalent circuit after DC sources connected to ground, all capacitor replacement short circuit. After that, draw the equivalent circuit and replace all active devices by its H parameter model. Active device by its H parameter model. So draw the equivalent circuit and replace all active devices by its H parameter model. Okay, and the finally step 4 is calculate current gain, voltage gain, and input impedance and output impedance. Calculate voltage, current gain, voltage gain, input impedance and output impedance, and finally somehow we can calculate power gain also. Okay. So except this power gain and the remaining 4 parameters, that is the current gain, voltage gain, input impedance and output impedance, you can calculate these 4 by taking the source resistance into the consideration. By not taking the source resistance into consideration, you can calculate. Means, so this 4 parameters with source and without source, you can take by taking the source into the consideration, you can calculate. By without taking the source resistance also can calculate. So total this current gain with source resistance, without source resistance, voltage gain with source and without source, input impedance with source and without source, like that. So there are the 4, again 4 will be added to this. Okay, if you assume that these 4 are without source resistance, another 4 parameters are calculated by taking that source resistance into the consideration. So 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus last one is the power gain. So total 9 parameters we can calculate for any BJT amplifier, CEC, BCC. Okay, for if you take any amplifier, so this is only the common procedure for AC analysis. That is the step 1 is to connect all the DC sources to ground, replace all capacitors with the short circuit, and the third step is just draw the equivalent circuit and replace all active devices by its H parameter model. And the step 4 is calculate current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output impedance with and without source resistance, and the finally power gain. And this we can extend the with and without with and without source resistance. So these are the 4 steps that we need to follow. So for to do the AC analysis. Okay. So now let us come to the topic now. Okay, for just for briefing your and just to recall your H parameter model, just I will show you that H parameter model of CE amplifier now. Okay, so please note down all the 4 steps, very important steps for this procedure for AC analysis. And then note down this. Just and this is the H parameter model of your CE configurations, what we seen in the previous classes. And to just remind, so recall your H parameter model. So this is HIE. So input impedance HIE. Okay, so input current is IB, and this is HRE into VC, and this is HFE into IB here. HFE into IB here, and this is 1 by HOE, and the final output is voltage. This already we seen in previous class. If you go back and see, we have the 3 H parameter models and the 3 H parameter equations of 3 configurations like CE configuration, CB configuration, CC configuration. Okay, you just go back and check it. And so these are the H parameter models of CE amplifier. Anyway, we are going to do that analysis of CE amplifier now. So just I want to show you that again the H parameter model of CE amplifier as well as the equations. Okay, and you see the notations of the capital I and capital V. So that is for the DC signal, but here you are not supposed to mention that capital I, but here by mistakenly they mention capital I and capital V. But when you're doing AC analysis, you always have to mention with small letters only. Always you have to represent with the small letters AC analysis. Suppose if the signal is AC, pure AC form, then we have to represent with the small letters only. If it is the DC signal, we have to represent with capital letters only. Okay, so capital letters only. So suppose if the signal is addition of AC and DC, that is your wish. Okay, so that mixed combination you can use it for if the signal has the DC and AC. But as AC analysis amplifier means we are concentrating on only the AC signal. That's the reason we are not supposed to mention, we are not supposed to represent any current or any voltage in the derivation part with the capital letters. With the capital letters, you are not supposed to mention like that. So always you have to use the small letters only for the representation. Okay, if it is the DC biasing or the DC signal analysis, then you can use the capital letters. There you should not again use the small letters. So you should not use the small letters in the DC analysis. Okay, so please remind these 2 points. For AC analysis means small letters, for the DC analysis is capital letters. That's very important. So the segregation, by seeing that notation itself, the people can tell that whether it is a AC signal or a DC signal. Okay, so that the very much importance is there for this representation. For AC signal, it is small letters only. Okay, so this is the H parameter model here. Okay, I hope you would just recall your that H parameter model and the equations. Okay, so now I will move to that my topic. Yes, see, you draw the circuit. So take the heading. Analysis of CE amplifier. Analysis of CE amplifier. Take the headings. Analysis of CE amplifier, and draw the circuit. This circuit. This is the source resistance. Okay, so if you see, I will draw that circuit. Okay, so this is what the voltage divider bias network here. Okay, so this is I highlighted some portion here, that is a voltage divider bias network. Actually, in the DC biasing, we have the 3 types, that is the fixed bias, collector based bias, and voltage divider bias. But comparing all the stability factors of 3 configurations, we can tell that only voltage divider bias gives the unity stability factor. So that is the stability factor is equal to 1. So means if any temperature variations are there in the output, I mean in the surroundings, so very less amount will be changed in the output equation. So therefore, so your operating point may not change drastically, and it may not change so observably. So therefore, your operating point will be constant on the midline of the DC load line. So therefore, so that operating point, whenever the operating point is fixed, absolutely will get a faithful amplification. The faithful amplification is nothing but the output representing the reproducing the output response without losing across any component, without any distortion. That is the faithful amplification. So we are using voltage divider bias network here. Okay, and for that, and for input and output, we are connecting one capacitors and 2 capacitors. That is what we call coupling capacitors or blocking capacitors. Okay, this also already discussed in the previous classes. The blocking capacitor means these 2 capacitors are acts as a acts to block the DC signal. If we are giving input signal to this like this, we are giving input signal like this. If this input has any by mistake, and if it has any DC signal, that DC signal will be blocked across this C1, and only allows the AC signal. Allow AC signal will go and apply to the base. Okay, so this amplifier start to amplify the signal and it gives the signal, and anyway because of that VCC again, so there is a possibility to add some DC content to the our original output signal. So again that has to pass through the this C2 capacitor here. Again it has to pass through the C2 capacitor. If because of that VCC, if again some DC signal added, that DC signal will be blocked across C2, and the remaining pure kind of AC signal will go to the load line. So that is the load resistor here. Okay, so here we'll get only AC signal. Okay, so these two capacitors, input capacitance and output capacitance, we can call it as coupling capacitors or blocking capacitors, which block the DC signal in the waveform. Okay, it allows only AC signal. So, and one more capacitor is also there, that what we call, this is the bypass capacitor. So bypass, the importance of the bypass capacitor is it offers the low impedance to the RE resistor. It offers the low impedance to the RE resistor. So if you compare that RE resistor impedance value and the capacitor value impedance value, so that XCE is nothing but that is impedance of bypass capacitor is equal to RE by 10. So means we will take the 10th portion of RE resistor as the impedance of the capacitor. Like that we will design the bypass capacitor. Okay, so we'll choose that bypass capacitor value which gives that 10th portion of your impedance value of RE resistor. So means if RE resistance is 1 kilo ohm resistor and a capacitor will choose which offers the 100 ohms. Okay, if RE resistor, if you take 1 kilo ohm resistor in the circuit diagram, we'll choose the CE capacitor, that is bypass capacitor, which offers 100 ohms resistance. Okay, so this bypass who is that? Okay, so we'll choose that bypass capacitor such a way that that a 10th portion of your RE resistance. We'll choose like that. So what happens is, if RE resistance is equal to 1 kilo ohm resistor and XCE will offer the 100 ohms, and if the current wants to pass, so current, what is the current here? This is IE current. This is IE current. So IE current, it has two paths. So what is the 1 kilo ohm resistance path? Another is 100 ohms resistance path. So default the current will choose the lowest resistance path. Okay, as we know that. So the IE current will not flow through that RE resistor, and it definitely that IE current will flow through the bypass capacitor. So by making like this, by doing like this, we can eliminate the voltage drop across RE. We can eliminate the voltage drop across RE. Is it clear? So if we eliminate the voltage drop across RE, so output will be more. So why? Because we know that. So so we know that VCE is equal to VC minus VE. We know that VC equal to VCE minus VE. If there is no voltage drop across VE, is that there is no negative portion, there is no elimination portion. So only the output is equal to VC into VC is nothing but VCC. Is it right? So how we can make V is equal to 0? By not passing that IE current through RE. So for that reason, we are connecting one bypass capacitor which offers the low reactance to the RE resistor. And what will be the ratio? That is the 10:1. If RE is equal to 1 kilo ohm resistor and a bypass capacitor offers the 10th portion of your RE resistor. 10th portion of your RE resistor. Okay, so if RE is equal to 1 kilo ohm resistor and XE will become 100 ohms. So like that, so we can eliminate the we can eliminate the voltage drop across RE. So therefore our output will be more. If you are not connecting these RE bypass capacitor here, what happens? If you are not connecting here, so therefore if you are not connecting the bypass capacitor here, so there will be some voltage drop across VE, because so emitter current finds the only one path that has to flow through that RE resistor. So whenever the current flowing through the RE resistor, there will be some voltage drop across RE. There will be some voltage drop across RE. So VE is equal to, at least if we make 1 volt also, or 0.1 or 0.2 volts also, definitely this output will be decreased. Your output will be decreased. Is it clear? So like that, always this bypass capacitor need to be added in the C amplifier in order to avoid the voltage drop across RE, and it improves your output voltage. It improves your output voltage. One major problem, so major advantage of the bypass capacitor is it will avoid the voltage drop across RE, and it improves your voltage gain. Okay, if output voltage is increases, automatically we can say that output voltage gain is increases. Is it clear? So this is about the description. So RS is nothing but the source resistance, that input resistance, and RL is the load. Okay, whereas R1, R2, RE are the biasing capacitors, and RC offers the output impedance to the collector. So this all the description we already seen in the previous class. Again, just to recall all the concepts, just again I am explaining all those things. Okay, so I hope you note down this the circuit diagram. So see, mean parallelly how to note down the circuit diagrams and whatever the points I'm telling you. Okay, so do it parallelly. Okay, and it's drawn circuit diagram. All of you draw the circuit diagram. See here. See here.
Sir.
Drawn.
Sir. Sorry, sir.
Circuit.
Sir, I have drawn, sir.
Yeah. So parallelly draw the circuits and the equations what are there on the screen. Okay. Okay, so this is the circuit we have also C amplifier, and I'm moving to the next step. Okay, so this is the step 1, and this is the step 1 here. Step 1, what is your step 1? So you just go back, and it's the procedure for AC analysis. I told you what is the step 1. So connect all DC sources to ground. Connect all DC sources to ground. This is the step 1. So what is the DC source here? So this is VCC is the DC source, whereas VS is the AC source here. Okay, so this is AC source, and this is AC signal, and this is the DC signal, that is the battery we are having. Okay, so now according to the step 1, connect all the DC source to the ground. Yes, so just I redrawn the circuit again that without any changes. Redrawn the circuit, same circuit again without any changes. Just I kept one ground connection to the R1 and RC, which is connected to the VCC here. So here R1 is connected to VCC, RC also connected to VCC. So in the place of VCC, I'm just replacing that DC source to ground connection. So connect all the DC source to ground is there, no? So I replaced that DC signal with ground connection. So this is my output circuit after step 1. Okay, so I connect the DC source. Okay, so this stepwise you have to draw it. So very important. So first you have to draw the circuit diagram of C amplifier. Next, take the heading of X step 1. And what is the step 1? What you are doing? We are connecting connect all the DC source to ground. Yes, you redraw the circuit diagram again by keeping by replacing the VCC with ground connection. Okay, so this is step 1. And the step 2 is, what is the step 2? Replace all capacitors with short circuit. So how many capacitors we have in the circuit? We have the 3 capacitors in the circuit, that is C1, C2, CE. 2 coupling capacitors and 1 bypass capacitor. 1 bypass capacitor. So this is a bypass capacitor here. Okay, and this is coupling capacitor, output coupling capacitor, input coupling capacitor. So there are the 3 coupling capacitors. We have to replace all the capacitor with a short circuit. So means you remove that capacitors, in the place of that you just connect you just extend that line. So you replace with the short circuits. You replace with short circuit. Okay, so why? Because you are doing AC analysis. In the case of the DC analysis, all the capacitor will act as open circuit. Open circuit means there is no connection between that output to the input now. If you do for the DC analysis. But you are doing the AC analysis now. You have to replace the capacitors with short circuit. Okay, so that is our step 2. And step 2 here, see. And here there is no capacitor, that is replaced with short circuit. Here also there is no capacitor, replaced with short circuit. Here also there is no capacitor, replaced with short circuit. This is step 3. Sorry, step 2. This is step 2. Okay, this is step 2. Is it clear? And step 1 is just there is no change in the circuit diagram, simple. So minor changes we are doing. First thing is we are drawn the circuit again. Only thing is we replace that VCC with a ground connection. And step 2 is the circuit which obtained in step 1. Again we drawn the step 1 out circuit diagram. But here what you are doing, we are in extra what we are doing, we are replacing the capacitors with short circuit. So the ground is as usual. So this ground is replaced, this VCC is replaced with the ground in the step 1. In the step 2, capacitor also replaced with short circuits. Okay. And what is step 3 now? Step 3, redraw the circuit, equivalent circuit. Redraw the equivalent circuit and replace all active devices by its switch parameter model. That's the step 3. Step 3 is draw the equivalent circuit, and replace all active devices by its H parameter model. What do you mean by active devices? Active, so there are the two types of the components, active components and passive components. A passive components means the component which cannot generate the energy on its own. The component which cannot generate energy on its own is passive component. Active component is the component which can generate energy on its own is active component. Okay, so in this circuit diagram, that active component is nothing but the transistor. This is the transistor. This is active component. This is active component here. This is active component. Okay, so in the place of these active, all the active component, we have to replace with its H parameter model. What is its H parameter model? So where it is in the, what is the configuration of it? This is the CE configuration. CE configuration. Why? Because base is input, collector is output. This is the base terminal. This is the collector terminal. This is emitter terminal. So emitter is connected to ground. So this is the common emitter configuration here. So we have to replace this transistor with H parameter model of CE configuration. Okay, that I will tell you how we can replace with. How we can replace it. Okay, so my step 3 is C. Step 3 is, so this is step 3. Step 3. Okay, so I will by showing both the circuits at a time. So I will explain. And see here what happens is, so source signal is there. Yes, source is there, no change. And RS is there. Yes, RS is also there, no change. R2 is there. Or where is R2? R2 is connected between base to ground. R2 is connected between base to ground. Yes, R2 is connected between base to ground. Okay, whereas coming to here, R1 is also connected between base to ground. R1 also connected between, this is the base and this is the ground. But it is looking like to connect to the VCC signal. Yes, it is connected to the VCC signal. But what you are doing, we are replacing that DC signal with a ground connection. Therefore, R1 resistor is also connected between base to ground. So means that R1 will come into the parallel connection with R2. So this is, so R1 is also connected between base to ground. This is the ground connection. Okay, so but if you see the circuit diagram, so R1 will be R1 will be in the top and R2 will be bottom, but R1, so whenever you replace that VCC with the ground connection, R1 will also come into the will come and place in the, which is parallel to R2 resistor. Similarly, and now if you see that this is one equivalent one resistance here, and this is the short circuit. The short circuit, what is the impedance of this short circuit? 0 ohms. 0 ohms. Short circuit impedance is 0 ohms. So 0 ohms parallel to RE resistor. What will be the equivalent resistance? 0 ohms parallel to anything. 0 ohms parallel to anything is 0 only. 0 parallel to anything in infinity is also that is 0 only. So we are replaced. That's the reason this RE resistor gets eliminated here and is replaced with short circuit. RE resistance eliminates there and replaced with short circuit here. Why? Because RE resistor which is parallel to the capacitor, that capacitor is replaced by short circuit. So short circuit is nothing but that impedance value is 0. 0 ohms parallel to RE resistance is that. What is the equivalence resistance? This is RE resistor here, and which is parallel to 0 and equal to 0 only. RE parallel to 0 is 0. So for that, emitter is directly connected to the ground. Emitter is directly connected to the ground. Okay. Next, RL resistor. RL where it is connected and connected to the ground. RL is connected to the ground. Yes, RL. So this is RL. This is collector terminal and this is emitter terminal connected to the ground. But coming to the RC resistor, what is RC? RC where it is connected? Collected to, this is collector terminal and ground. Okay. So RC is connected between collector to ground. So whereas RL also connected to ground. So means RC will come and place parallel to the RL. RC will come and place parallel to the RL. So if it just compare the first sequence, this equation, this circuit and this circuit, only thing is R1 resistor is coming to the input resistor, which R1 is coming to the parallel to the input resistance R2. RC will coming to the parallel to the output resistance RL. Okay, R1 will be parallel. R1 will go parallel to the R2. RC will go parallel to the RL. Okay, so it's just why? Because this is everything is because of we are replacing that VCC signal with ground connection. We are connecting all DC sources to the ground connection. So input resistors, input portion resistor will come in the place in one place. All the input resistance R1, R2, and the output resistance RC and RL will come. Both will be in parallel, and R1, R2 both will in parallel. Okay, so here I can write it as RC parallel to RL is equal to ZL. RC parallel to RL equal to ZL. Just for simplification, just I'm clubbing these two, and the place of RC and RL, just I'm writing the ZL equation. ZL is nothing but the load resistance. Z indicates the impedance. We know that notation. Okay, so the RC parallel to RL is equal to, I'm just assuming that ZL in the place of these two combinations are keeping like this. Okay, so yes, so we drawn the equivalent circuit. This is the equivalent circuit here. Now what is the next? Replace all active devices by its H parameter model. How many active devices are here? So only one active device is here, that is the CE amplifier, this. Okay, so only one transistor, so one H parameter model only. So now we just compare here. Okay, so VS, RS and RS. Okay, R1 parallel to R2. So yes, R1 parallel to R2 here, no change. And output is RC and RL. In the place of RC and RL, I just substituted ZL. So the ZL is nothing but RC and parallel. So only thing is in the place of here, so whatever in the place of the transistor, I'm replacing with its H parameter model. So the H parameter model of common emitter configuration is this. Okay, the remaining before this portion and after this portion is same and brought from the circuit diagram only. It is brought from the circuit diagram only. So only thing is, so if you see, this is same here. So what is this? So this is the one. This portion is same, and this portion is same. Okay, only thing is here two resistors are there. In the place of two resistors, I'm just taking ZL. Only what I'm doing is I'm just replacing the transistor with H parameter model. That I already shown your H parameter model here. So this is the previous slide, and the previous class also we drawn. We seen that H parameter model and H parameter equations of it. Is it clear? So this is the H parameter of CE amplifier. Okay, so just I redrawn the circuit. Note down the circuits. because the first one is just again I'll go back and come. So this is the circuit diagram here. Step one is we replaced our VCC with the ground. So we kept the ground connection here in the place of it. And the next we replaced all the capacitor with short circuit. So all the capacitor will short circuited. Okay. But next third one is the draw the equivalent circuit. Draw the equivalent circuit is RE which is parallel to the 0 ohms. So that obviously becomes 0. So emitter is directly connected to the ground. And R1 will come into the parallel R2. Rs will come to and play parallel to the RL. Okay. And then replace all the active devices by its H parameter model. What is the active devices? What is the active devices? So this is the transistor is the active device. Transistor is the active device. So the transistor in the place of transistor we replaced with the H parameter model of CE amplifier because this is a C amplifier now. So we are replacing the transistor with H parameter model. And the final is okay. So this is our circuit diagram. And the later also we see further we can simplify. Further we can simplify that. Okay. So if you want to calculate equivalent resistance of it, if you want to calculate equivalent resistance of it here. Okay. So this is the what equivalent resistance if you want to calculate. So that is R equivalent is equal to here R1 parallel to R2 parallel to HI. So anyway, when you're drawing that, when you're calculating equivalent resistance, all the voltage sources replaced with short circuit and current sources replaced with open circuit. We know that that rule. We know that when you're calculating the equivalent resistance, DC sources short circuit, AC sources open circuit. Okay. So anyway, this is the DC source. We can short circuits. Now what happens is R1 parallel to R2 parallel to HI. So what is the typical value of HIE? What is the typical value of HI? This is 1.1 kilo. That you know that in the last class we've seen that the typical values 1.1 kilo HI value. So R1 value will be around 47k or 100k, 47 to 100k. 47 to 100k, and R2 will be 5 to 10k in between that. So that R2 will be, that is the ranges of R1 R2, and the typical value of HI is 1.1. Now see that 47 kilo ohm resistor parallel to 5 kilo ohm resistor parallel to 1.1 kilo ohm resistor. What will be the result value? Okay, so R equivalent is equal to R1 parallel to R2 parallel to HIE. HIE is 1.1 kilo ohm resistor, R1 is 47 kilo ohm resistor, R2 is 4.7 or 5 kilo ohm resistor. If there are the three resistor values are there, if you want to calculate that equivalent resistance, whichever is the least one, that will be approximately equal to your equivalent resistor. Approximately. So means if you do like this, so that the approximate R equivalent is equal to 1.1 kilo ohm resistor only. Why? Because this is the least one. Then what is the importance of that R1 and R2? Of course, there is important, that is so to provide the biasing for the C amplifier in the DC analysis, but it shows the less effect on AC analysis. It may show the major effect on the DC analysis, that is the setting the by to set the operating point. The DC biasing it may show the major effect, but in the AC analysis these two resistors may not involve effectively to change the parameters like current gain, voltage gain. So for that, to simplify our calculations, what I'm doing is I'm removing these R1 resistors and R2 resistors from this. Why? Because anyway that equivalent resistance is equal to HIE only. Then what is the unnecessary? Why we need to take unnecessary that R1 and R2 resistors in the consideration, and taking why to make our calculations complicated. Okay, so why? Because these R1 R2 resistors are not effective, are not showing any impact on our AC analysis. Then what is the reason of taking them? Okay, so those two resistor values we definitely will show, will impact our DC biasing and that to setting the operating point, definitely. So that there is a very big importance of R1 R2 to set the operating point for the DC analysis. But for the point of view, so AC analysis point of view, there is no use of taking R1 R2 resistors into the consideration, but because these two will not influence much your output. So for that I'm just not taking that R1 R2 resistor. So my final circuit is this. My final circuit is this. Okay, so this is my final circuit. Simply Vs is input signal, Rs, okay, HIE, and there is no R1 R2, there are no R1 R2 here, HREVC, HFEIB, 1 by HOE here, and ILZL, and this is my output, V0 or VC. Since output is collector, no VC, V0 or VC. Okay, so this is my final circuit diagram of CE amplifier after simplification and all those things. After the step 4, that draw the equivalent circuit and replace all active device by H parameter model is there. No, step 3 I think. Step 3. So this is my obtained circuit diagram, and the only step 4 is left over. So that left step 4 is we need to calculate that parameters, current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output impedance, and so with and without source, finally power gain we have to calculate. That I will show you. Okay, so this is the circuit, the final circuit. Please note down this. And here I can tell you, I can show you that IC and IL both are in opposite direction. IC is going this way, IL is going this way. So both are opposite. So IL is equal to minus IC. IL is equal to minus IC. Where ZL is equal to, we know that RC parallel to RL, that we know that. RC parallel to RL, and the V0 or VC is equal to what is V0 or VC, IL into ZL only. IL into ZL. So because the current flowing through the load resistance into that load resistance is our output voltage. What is the current flowing through the load resistance? IL current is flowing through the load resistance. So VC is equal to IL into ZL, or I can write it as VC equal to minus IC into ZL. I can write minus IC into ZL. Okay. Draw the circuits. Okay, so now I will draw this step 4. Step 4 is the calculation of all those things. So before drawing, before starting that calculation part, let us write our equations, H parameter equations. That is VB plus HIE plus HRE into FE B plus HYE AC. So these two are the equations. These two are the equations of your H parameter equations. Okay. VB is nothing but input voltage. VB is equal to HIE IB plus HRE AC. IC equal to HFE IB plus HOE AC. These two are the equations: input voltage equation, output current equation. Okay, so first let us calculate current gain. Current gain. First we need to calculate the current gain. Okay, current gain is equal to IL divided by IB. Output current by input current. Current gain is nothing but output current by input current. What is output current? The whatever the current flowing through the load is our output current. So what is the current flowing through the load? That is IL. Input current is IB. Input current is IB. So here I am not taking R as source resistance into the consideration. I'm just calculating that I'm just calculating the fact parameters up till to this point only. I'm not taking this portion. So that is the input voltage is VB. If I take RS also to the consideration, that the input voltage will be VS. If I take RS also into the consideration, VS will be my input voltage. But here first I'm calculating this voltage gain, current gain, input impedance and output impedance without taking the source resistance into the consideration. Okay. So just I'm telling you, so AI is equal to output current by input current. That is equal to so IL is nothing but I can write it as IC minus IC divided by IB. IL is equal to minus IC. We know that. Why? Because both the directions are opposite. AI equal to minus IC by IB. Okay. So for this, I can write. So here I'm taking the first equation of so second equation to calculate the current gain here. Okay. So current gain. Just see here, that is equal to, so IC equal to HFE into IB plus HOE into VC. So HFE IB plus HOE, VC is what I can write minus IC into Z. I can write. Why? Because so VC is equal to what? VC is nothing but what? That is output voltage. That is output voltage. So if VC is equal to output voltage, that of IL into ZL, where IL is equal to what? Minus IC. So VC is equal to, I can write minus IC into ZL, I can write. Yes or no? So ZL I can write. So in the place of VC, I'm just on the place of VC, I wrote minus IC into ZL. So from this I can write IC, and this portion, this is the minus of so plus of minus, so becomes minus. So minus become this side, it becomes plus HOE ZL, and finally IC equal to HFE into IB. Into IB. So therefore, if you take IC as common here, IC as common, so 1 plus HOE and ZL into equal to HFE IB. It's clear. So from this I can write IC divided by IB equal to HFE divided by 1 plus HOE into okay. So IC by IB equal to HFE by 1 plus ZL. But what is my current gain here? Minus IC by IB. Minus IC by IB. So therefore, I can write AI equal to IC divided by IB. That is equal to, we just add one minus to this minus HFE divided by 1 plus HOE ZL. Okay, so this is our output voltage gain. This is the voltage gain. Sorry, this is the current gain. Sorry. Okay, so this is the current gain of our C amplifier. So here what I'm doing is we have the two basic equations, VB and IC. Current gain AI is equal to AI equal to minus IC by IB. For that I'm taking the second equation, IC current equation. Why? Because we need to calculate output current. IC equal to HFE IB plus HOE into VC. But VC is equal, we know that minus IC into ZL. You substitute and simplify and rearrange the equation in the form of A equal to minus IC by B, will get minus HFE by 1 plus HY into ZL. Okay, this is current gain. This is current gain. Okay, so next one is what we can calculate. Input impedance we can calculate. Input impedance. Okay. Impedance is equal to input impedance. Input resistance means what? Input voltage by, what is input voltage? PB by input current. What is input current? IB. Input voltage by input current. Input voltage by input current is our input impedance. So you just compare both the equations whatever we have in the basic equations. So we know that input equation, direct equation, we know that is VB is equal to HIE IB plus HRE into VC. So okay, this is where anyway it is in the form of EB. This is also IB. Okay, so this term you have to convert either in the form of IB or either in the form of VB. Therefore, if we connect this term, convert like that in terms of IB or VB, later easily can take one factor is common and you can write the form like VB by IB. Therefore, you will get your input impedance. Is that right? Why? Because so VB is there, okay, it is there in the required format, and IB term is there. And the only thing is this term has to be converted in the form of either IB or VB. So here I'm taking input equation that is equal to HIE IB plus HRE VC. VC is, we know that VC is, what is VC? IC ZL. IC into ZL. We know that, right? Is that right? So this we know that. So from this, what I can write here, what I can write, okay, I'm writing VB by IB. I'm just dividing the equation with IB. And dividing the equation with IB. So if we divide this, and this is IB. Okay, so what happens? VB divided by IB equal to HIE plus HRE minus IC divided by IB. Okay, so IB cancel here in the first term, so IB is there and the denominator IB is both cancel. In the second term, I am writing minus IC by IB, and the remaining two factors is as usual I am writing here. So VB by IB I can write ZI equal to VB by IB. So because according to the definition, VB by IB is nothing but ZI equal to HIE plus HRE. What is this minus IC by B? What is this minus IC by B? Minus IC by B is nothing but AI, current gain. Yes or no? So in the place of it, simply I can write AI into ZL. So my input impedance equation is ZI equal to HIE plus HRE into AI into ZL. Okay, anyway, further, suppose if you want to substitute exact one, in the place of AI, you can substitute this minus HFE by 1 plus HY into ZLS, you can substitute and you can substitute it. But so for the simplicity, I'm just keeping AI in the place of that entire equation. So ZI equal to HIE plus HRE into AI into ZL. Okay, so this is input impedance. This is input impedance. Okay. So here what input impedance is input voltage by input current. Input voltage is VB, input current is IB. So VB is equal to HIIB plus HR into VC. So we are converting VC in the place of IC in terms of IC into ZL here. Okay. So that is you substitute here. So this entire equation we are dividing with IB. So VB by IB equal to this term by IB. So VB by IB is nothing but ZI. We know that the basic definition. If we separate IB cancel and we will get HIE plus HRE into minus IC by IB I can write and into the ZL. So minus IC by IB is nothing but the current gain. So ZI equal to HIE plus HRE into A into ZL. This is what input impedance. Okay. So next one is voltage gain. AV. AV is equal to divided by output voltage by input voltage. Voltage gain equal to output voltage by input voltage. What is output voltage? VC. Input voltage is VB. Collector voltage by base voltage. Okay. So this you can write simply. Anyway, you know that input impedance value and output current value. I mean, current gain value. Simply you can write AV equal to VC. VC, what is this? Yes. IC into VB. VB is what from this? What is VB? VB is equal to IB into ZI only, right? VB equal to ZI into IB. So IB into ZI. Okay. So implies AV equal to. So what is this minus IC by IB? Minus IC by IB is I can write AI into ZL divided by okay, you keep ZL by ZI is as it is. When the place of IC minus IC by IB, in the place of minus IC by IB, you substitute A current gain. So current gain AI into ZL by ZI is our AV voltage gain. Simple. Okay, by making use of the input impedance and the current gains, so directly we can calculate the voltage gain like this. Okay, this is voltage gain. Okay, so the next one, output admittance. Output admittance, why not? Why not equal to output admittance? Admittance we know that current by voltage. Admittance means current by voltage, that to output admittance, output current by output voltage. So here the output current is actually the load current is the output, but here we want to calculate output admittance of the CE amplifier. output admittance of the C amplifier. So for that, so you have to remember 2 points here. First point is output load should be disconnected from the circuit. You have to remember 2 points here. The output load resistance should be disconnected from the circuit, and the input source should be kept constant. Input source should be kept constant. So means I will write so IC by VC. So here what you have to remember is, so when you are calculating output admittance, the load resistor or ZL, whatever the load resistance, okay, that load resistance should be infinity. So means open circuit. Okay, infinity open circuit. So when you are calculating output admittance, you have to remember 2 points. First point is the load resistance should be disconnected from the circuit. Why? Because the output admittance that we are calculating for only the C amplifiers, not taking that external resistor. Our load resistance is nothing but external resistor. It should not disturb your output admittance. So if you take the load resistance into the consideration, you may not calculate exact output admittance of your C amplifier. So for that, the load resistance should be disconnected from the C amplifier. And the one more thing is VB. That is VB should be kept constant, like 0. Input source should be 0. Again, so why? Because input voltage, if you keep on increasing or decreasing, others, if you keep on changing the input signal, automatically it will influence your output parameter. So for that, when you're calculating output admittance, you have to make sure that the load resistance should be disconnected from the circuit and the input signal should be constant. That input signal should be constant. By taking, so by you have to see these two statements, 2 points, then you can calculate the output admittance. Okay, so in these two, output current and output voltage, we have output current equation directly. Okay, so for that, IC is equal to what is the formula? HFE IB plus HOE Z. This we know that equation for IC. HFE IB plus HOE into Z. Is it right? Sorry, HOE, this is BC, not BC. Yes, this. So IC equal to HFE IB plus HOE into VC. This is the output equation. We know that output current equation. Okay. So from this I can write IC divided by VC. So I'm dividing. So the LHC side and RS side, the entire equation with VC I'm dividing here. VC I'm dividing. So therefore, IC by VC, we know that is output admittance is equal to, okay, equal to HFE IB divided by VC plus HOE. So HFE keep aside, and IB by VC, and HOE VC by VC cancel HOE. This is our output admittance. But so we have to know that relation between that input current to output voltage. Therefore, you can substitute that relation in this equation. Then your equation will be fulfilled. Okay. So you have to find out the relation between the input current to output voltage. Then you bring that relation and substitute here. Then your equation will be then it will be a final equation. So for that, to identify the relation between this, so we know that input voltage should be constant. I told no. So I told the input voltage should be constant. So for that, I'm going back and I'm taking the input equation HIE IB plus HRE VC. Okay, that implies VB is 0. I know I told, why? Because we should keep VB as constant. 0 equal to the remaining. The remaining is equation as it is. It will be like this. Okay, so the that implies, so from this I can write, IB divided by VC equal to minus HRE divided by HIE. This relation you can write from this. So you bring one term to the LH side, so that becomes minus. Okay, so if you bring this minus HFE IB equal to HR into VC. So IB by VC equal to minus HRE by HI. Is that right? So from this you can write IB by VC. From the rise you can write IB by VC. So you will get minus HRE by HI. So now we substitute this relation in this equation. Therefore you will get our output admittance. Therefore you will get the output admittance. So Y0 is equal to OE minus HRE HFE HI. Okay, substitute in that, you will get the equation like this.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you repeat the first point? Why we keep ZL is open?
Yeah. Output admittance you are calculating now. So output admittance is nothing but this is for the C amplifier. So output admittance means what? That is the reciprocal of the resistor, whatever. Okay. Anyway, it is impedance family only. That is the reciprocal of it. So if you are calculating output admittance, that load resistance should be disconnected from that. You have to remove that load resistance from the circuit diagram. Otherwise, if you keep the load resistance also into the circuit diagram, what happens is that load resistance who are wearing that controlling that load resistance, we are controlling the loading resistance. Okay, that is in our hands only. So that load resistance you can either keep 5 kilo ohm resistor or 10 kilo ohm resistor or 100 kilo, that is in your hand. So means by taking the control to your hand, how you can expect that what is the exact output admittance of your C amplifier? Because so you don't know how much you need to maintain to calculate the exact output admittance value. Okay, so for that reason, simply remove that load resistance from the circuit diagram. So then there is no control of it on, so there is no control for you on the circuit diagram. Therefore, whatever the resistance or what is the admittance that we are going to get now, that we can say that yes, this is the exact output admittance of my C amplifier. In this output admittance, I don't have any, so I don't have any control on it. So I did not do any manipulation of it. Okay, so exact value. So to calculate that exact output admittance, we should disconnect the load resistance from the circuit diagram. Similarly, the input signal also, when you keep on changing or keep on applying that input signal, obviously that input signal influence your output parameters. Okay, why? Because if you are applying input voltage based on that, I will IB current generate. If IB current generate, automatically IC current generate. IC will participate in that output admittance. Okay, automatically when you're applying the input voltage, so your output current also vary. So your output admittance also vary. So for that reason, so to calculate output admittance, exact output admittance, which is offering by the C amplifier, okay, we should lose our control on the circuit diagram. Whenever you lose the control on the circuit diagram, then only so what by taking that what was the skeleton circuit so without having any control on the circuit diagram, you take the circuit and you calculate whatever the equation you are getting and whatever that amount you are getting, that you can claim that as this is the exact output admittance of the circuit diagram. So in this portion, I did not do anything. So I did not change my circuit input signal. I did not connect my external load resistance. I did not do anything. So this is what my exact output admittance of the C amplifier. Okay. So otherwise, if we connect the load resistance, if we connect the input voltage, so how can you claim that says this is the output admittance? Is it right? So for that, so to claim, so to calculate exact output admittance, that load resistance should be disconnected from the circuit and the input signal should be kept constant. That's the reason for to open the load resistance from the circuit diagram, and that is only for this case. Why? Because so output admittance, we are going for the output parameter, output completely output. So the complete output means, so output impedance is very, very important. Why? Because if you go for the later section, like in the multi-stage amplifiers, so the output impedance of the first stage will act as the input impedance of the second stage. And if you connect one more stage, one more C amplifier to the cascaded in first stage, just I'm taking single stage here. In this form, I'm taking single stage. If you take the second stage also, these output admittance or output impedance, you have to connect to the input of the next stage. So there will be some mismatch. Again, if you take the load resistance and everything, there will be some mismatch. For that reason, so you should not connect any external source, external resistors. So for the output admittance. So if you're not connecting this, then so there will be some synchronization between the first stage and second stage. There will be some impedance matching. Okay, so to match that impedance and to run the circuit smoothly, so that output resistance should be disconnected when you're calculating output impedance. Okay, so this point we will be very useful for you. So when you are on the third, I think fourth module, fourth module is a multi-stage amplifier is there for us. Okay, so there we'll connect this output impedance of the first stage to the input impedance of the second stage directly. So means Z01 is equal to Zi2. Z01 means output impedance of the first stage. Zi2 is nothing but input impedance of the second stage. That directly. Okay, that there you can understand why we need to open the load resistance there. Clear?
Okay, sir. Sir, means we have to put it in ideal.
Yeah, ideal.
Okay, sir.
Any other queries? Okay, so these are the four parameters we calculated: current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output admittance. So without taking the source resistance into the consideration, these four parameters we calculated. Okay, now let us calculate. Again the four parameters: current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, and output admittance, by taking the source resistance into the consideration. If you take the source resistance also into the consideration, what happens, that we are going to see. Okay, so this is what, and here I'm taking source resistance also into the consideration. Okay, so now my input voltage is Vs, not Vb. Why? Because so I'm taking source also into the consideration now. So my input voltage is Vb here, not Vb. Vs is my input voltage. This is my input voltage, and whereas output voltage is V0 or Vc only. V0 or Vc only. So previously, wherever the input voltage is required, what I wrote Vb, I wrote. But here in the next, when I taking the RS also into the consideration, I should take Vs as input signal, right? Because RS also I'm taking to the consideration. Okay, first again you can go back and calculate from the right from the equation. So from the equation here. So this equation, this can be modified. These two can be modified like this. So what is this equation now? If you apply the KVL here, what happens? Vs equal to, so what is this current? Anyway, both are in series, no? So in this case, IB or IS both are same. IB or IS, you can represent with source resistance current, source current or base current. Why? Because the source resistance and HI both are in series. Everything is a series connection now. In the series connection, the current is same. Only voltage will be different, but current will be same. So the current, input current, you can either you can represent with IB or IS. That is no issue. There is no big change. But the representation of Vs and Vb will be different. If you are representing with Vb, you are not supposed to take RS. If you are representing with Vs, you have to take RS. Okay, the representation of voltage will be different, but the representation of the current, because anyway the series connection, no, the series connection voltages will be different and the current will be same. If apply KVL here, so here I can write ISRS plus HIE IS, and this is HRE VC. So here the extra term is added. What is that? IS into RS. The extra term is added, that is IS into RS. The remaining HIE plus HRE VC same. Previous equation same. Only extra term is added. So this I can write, I can change this equation VS equal to RS IB plus IB or IS, so that there is no change in IB representation. There is no change in IB representation. Why? Because in the series connection, no. So it could be IB or IS, both are same. So if you take IS, VS, so source resistance, the extra component will be added to the equation, that is RS IB. That one product will be added. The remaining equation will be same. So coming to the output equation, anyway that source resistance is added to the input side, not to the output. So the output equation will be same. Okay, if the source resistance is added to the input, right? The source resistance is added to the input. So there is no extra component in the output that we are not adding. So the output equation will be same. Only input equation will be some little bit different. Okay, so this way we can solve it. Okay, so coming to the IIA minus IC by IB. So now this becomes IS. IS. Okay, anyway we are taking source node, so let us represent with IS only to avoid the confusion. Okay, so IS. So this way what you can read is okay. Can you write like this? So IC by IS, IC by IS is nothing but I can write minus IC by IB into IB by IS. So IB cancel, IC by IS you will get. Can we write like this? Yes or no? Okay, so just dividing that numerator and denominator. So IB cancel, you will get minus IC by IS. So from the circuit, I can redraw the circuit like this. RS this portion we calculated. This is VS, this is IS, this is HIE, this is RS, this is IB current. We already calculated. So till to this portion we already calculated, that is this portion we calculated, that is AI equal to minus IC by IB we calculated, minus IC by IB. Only thing is this extra parameter we need to calculate. So for that what I am doing here is I am applying source transformation theorem. I am applying the source transformation theorem here. So source transformation. So how we can apply? The voltage will be replaced with current source. The direction is this. Okay, so this IS is equal to what? IS is equal to Vs by Rs. The series resistance will come into the parallel like this, and again parallel resistance is there, that is Hi. Okay, so this is Is here, this is Rs, this is Ib current previously flowing through the HIE. Okay, so now from this, what is this? Ib equal to, apply the current division rule. Ib equal to opposite supply Is into Rs by Rs plus Hi. Rs plus Hi. Therefore, so Ib divided by Is equal to Rs divided by Rs plus Hi. Okay, so Rs by this one. Okay, minus Ic by Ib. So this equation is Ib by Is. Ic by Is is Rs by Rs plus Hi. So therefore, so finally Ai equal to, so this is AIS, represented with AIS. Why? Because with the source resistance AIS equal to minus Ic by I equal to minus Ic by B is nothing but AI, that already we calculated. Okay, minus Ic by B we calculated into in the place of what we call Ib by Is is what? Ic by B what? Rs divided by Rs plus AIS. This is AIS, current gain with source resistance. Current gain with source resistance. Okay, so see is the circuit diagram. This is what we are taking the here. So Vs Is. So to we know that AI is equal to AS equal to minus Ic divided by Ic. This you can write, this you can split minus Ic divided by Ib into Ib divided by Is. Okay, so this portion already we calculated. This is AI. This is AI. So this portion is Ib by S. We need to calculate. So for that, and so till to this point already calculated. So we are doing the source transformation theorem. So why? Because input is voltage is there. Input is voltage is there. So source transformation theorem, if your voltage will convert into the current, where current is equal to Vs by Rs, and the series resistance will come into the parallel, and Hi into Ib. So therefore Ib current is equal to opposite source Is into Rs by Rs plus Hi. So from this Ib by Is equal to Rs by Rs plus Hi. So you bring and substitute in this one. So you will get AIS equal to AS equal to, so this is AI only. So AI divided by AI Rs divided by Rs plus Hi. Rs plus Hi. Okay, so this is the transfer current voltage gain with sorry, current gain with the source resistance. Okay, the next one, input impedance. Input impedance. Input impedance with source stress ZIS equal to with source resistance ZIS equal to PS by S. Okay, so they just do some modifications here. Yes, same formula, same derivations. Only thing is, or otherwise without doing all those things also you can do one thing. Okay, so go back and see. So till to this point, what is your impedance? Till to this point, okay. So till to this point, what is your impedance? By taking VB, ZI is the input impedance. So now what happens when RS is added to the in-series connection? So then what is ZIS? If you take RS into the consideration, both are in series, no, RS plus ZI, that's it. That is input impedance for the source resistance. So till to this VB point, till to this point, the input impedance is ZI that already we calculated. So now what extra component you are adding? You are adding one resistor, source resistance, in series with the that circuit diagram. So the total resistance is equal to that extra component, the resistance plus the input impedance of the previous. So RS plus ZI. So here ZI is equal to RS plus ZI. RS plus ZI. Okay. RS plus ZI. Input impedance. The next one, voltage gain we have to calculate. So for voltage gain, when you are calculating, again that yes, what is voltage gain? Vs equal to Vc by Vs. So this we can split Vc by Vb into Vb by Vs. I can split. Therefore, Vb cancel and Vs by Vs will get. So this we already calculated. What is this? This is AV. Only thing what we have to calculate, this factor we have to calculate, and then you have to substitute in this. Is it right? Right. So this already we calculated. That is Vc by Vb and already calculate. So now only thing is we have to calculate, that is Vb by Vs. So for that, to take this input circuit separate, take the input circuit separate. Input circuit is Rs here, Hi here. This is Vs, this is Rs, and this is Hi. The voltage drop across is Vb. Okay, so that is ZI, input impedance, total input impedance. So previous also, yes, you write it as ZI, not Hi. ZI, input impedance. ZI. So VB is the voltage drop across the input impedance. Now we write VB by Vs. How we can write? VB equal to Vs into ZI divided by Rs plus ZI. So therefore VB divided by Vs is equal to Zi divided by Rs plus Zi. So now we substitute this term in this, so we'll get AVS equal to AV Zi divided by Rs plus Zi. AVS equal to AV into Zi by Rs plus Zi. Okay, substitute in that. So this is your AVS. AVS equal to AV into Zi by Rs plus Zi. Okay, AV is equal to AV into Zi by Rs plus Zi. The last one, output admittance. The last one, output admittance, is so the same, the output admittance without source and with the source, only one difference is, so that is, so this is everything is same, only the different change occurs in this. So because this becomes your VS. This is only the difference you will get. So one extra term component, right? So in this IB, if you take IB as common, so the what is the term in the place of HI? You will get RS plus HI. And you will get RS plus HI. That is only the difference. If you substitute here, you will get in the RS plus HI. The remaining is same. Why? Because input source is one extra component is there, that is RS into IB, and you substitute here. And if you take IB, you have to take the common from these two terms. So if you do two terms, if you take what is the resultant, IB into RS plus HI. So in the previously it is only HIE. Now in the place of HIE, one more component added, that is RS, source resistance is added. So the final equation is Y naught S equal to IC by VC, that is equal to HOE minus HRHF by RS plus HI. This is output admittance. Okay, so this is a Y OS equal to HY minus HR HF by RS plus HI. So this is output admittance with source resistance. Okay, so the final equation I will write a summary. That is without source resistance A equal to minus HFE divided by 1 plus HO into ZL. HO into ZL is the load. ZI equal to I plus HRE AI into ZL. This is input impedance. AB equal to AI into ZL by ZI. I not equal to minus HRE HFE divided by HI. Okay, this is without source resistance. With source resistance, A is equal to AI RS divided by RS plus ZI. ZI is equal to RS plus ZI. AB is equal to AB into divided by RS plus ZI. Not equal to I naught is equal to HOE minus HFE divided by RS plus this is with source resistance. And the finally power gain equal to AP. Power gain equal to AV into A, the 9 parameters. Power gain equal to voltage gain into current gain. This is the summary of today's class. 9 equations, very important. Without source, these are the 4. with source resistance. These are the four, and finally power gain is equal to AP equal to AV to A. Okay, so today what we discussed was analyze only CA amplifier using exact model, and there is one more model for the analysis of CA amplifier, that is a simplified model. So we'll see in the next class. Okay, so only that procedure is there. First, that the 4 points are there. That is, of step one, you connect a call DC source to the ground, and second one is the replace all capacitor with short circuit. Third one is redraw the circuit and replace all active devices by H parameter model. And the fourth step is calculate current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output admittance with and without source resistance, and then calculate power gain. And so far that we have seen that H parameter model of C amplifier and the two equations. Using those two equations and that procedure of AC analysis, we stepwise we calculated all the equations. Okay, so we practice this derivation today only. So otherwise, we definitely will forget all the derivation part of this. Very important. If we know this derivation part only, then only we will be understanding that fourth model. Fourth model is the multi-stage amplifier. Okay, yeah. So if you know this derivation, then only you will be understanding for the fourth model. Otherwise, so again you will be we need to come back to the second model. Okay, so this extension, the fourth model is the extension for the single derivation. The single derivation. Okay, if you know this derivation, so that fourth model is very easy. So today you practice it.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, Z and HI are equal.
ZI?
E and H. ZI and HI are equal. Both.
ZI and?
Sir, ZI and HI are equal.
No, different.
Different. Sir, why we?
HI is the impedance, input impedance of the transistor. ZI is the input impedance of the amplifier. Actually, so when I told for AIS, by mistake I wrote RS plus HI. That is not HI, that is ZI. When I am deriving AIS in this with the source resistance, by mistakenly I wrote RS denominator, RS plus HI and RSL. But that is not HI, that is ZI. ZI is different, HI is different. HI is the input impedance of your common input impedance of the transistor. But ZI is the input impedance of the CE amplifier. Complete stage. Okay, so when if you go for the next the simplified version, simplified model, then you will get some equality, or in that case that I will tell you how we will get the equality. But here the both are different. ZI is different, HI is different. HI is the H parameter input impedance of H parameters of CE, that is transistor. Okay, not for the amplifier. ZI is the input impedance of the amplifier. So where did you get that out?
From current gain.
That's what that not HI, that is ZI. Yeah, but mistakenly I wrote that HI, but that is ZI only.
Sir, can you show the circuit also?
Circuit, okay. Which one? This one?
Current gain, sir. Current gain.
Current gain, okay. So I will redraw this current gain. This is RS, this is ZI, this is VS. This is IS. So ZI means already these two, the remaining portion we calculated till to this portion, everything we calculated. So for that reason, in the place of the remaining circuit, we just replace with Zi simply. Okay, so this current is IB current. So that the next what we are taking the current. So to calculate AIS here. So what is the equation? Minus IC divided by IS. So this I can split minus IC divided by IS into, sorry, IB into IB divided by IS I can split. So therefore IB cancel. So minus IC by IB I can get it. Minus IC by IS I can get it. So this factor already I calculate, that is AI. That is minus HFE by 1 plus HO into ZL. No, so that already calculated, that I have it. I have that equation also. So need not to calculate these parameters, only I have to calculate this. So they see the denominator and numerator both are current, but if they see the circuit diagram, input is voltage. So for that we have to apply the source transformation theorem for the circuit. We have to convert into the current source. So this voltage will become current source here. This voltage source becomes current source. So it means current source is IS. So IS is equal to VS by RS here. Okay, the source resistance will come into the parallel, and this is Zi, and this is RS here, this is Zi, and this current is IB. Okay, so from this IB is equal to opposite source IS into RS divided by RS plus Zi. RS plus Zi. So therefore IB divided by IS is equal to RS divided by RS plus Zi. This is Zi, not HI. This is Zi. Okay. So now we bring and substitute in this form. Bring and substitute in this equation. So finally we'll get AI is equal to AI into RS divided by RS plus Zi. It's clear.
Sir, why didn't we use it in output admittance?
Sorry?
Why didn't we use Zi in output admittance?
Zi in output admittance. We use no. We the derivation in the place of VB, one extra component we wrote, right? The VS actually in the previous without source.
HI, sir.
Sorry?
We mentioned on the HI, no, sir.
That's what was. See, here what I'm doing is, so I'm not taking that Zi completely in the form. See, Zi is also in this equation is also again, what is Zi? HIE plus HR into A into ZL is there. Okay, so if I take that much equation, so that equation becomes complexity here. So just I'm cut short and I'm writing just simply Zi. So there what happens is, so there I didn't find any probable way to write in the form of Zi. So that is very easy to me to write in the form of RS plus HI only, because of in that way I derived. Okay, so I will tell you that see, for example, if you take Zi, for example, if you take ZIS, okay, what will be that is VS divided by IS. So from this I can write just I'm telling the example. So VS equal to RS plus HIE IS plus HRE VC. If you take like this, so VC is nothing but in the place of this I can substitute minus IC into ZL. Okay, so VS divided by IS RS plus HIE plus HRE minus IC divided by IB or IS ZI. So finally I can write IS equal to RS plus HIE plus AS into ZL. So this is how we need to calculate the input impedance. For example, so what is this term? What is this? This is ZI only. What is this? This is ZI only. So this ZI is in series with RS. So, but I am not deriving the entire equation like this. So only simply I wrote. So we know the ZI, but RS is just in addition. So that is in series with that, and I just wrote like ZI is equal to RS plus ZI. So simple way. So for coming to this input impedance derivation, this is my simplest way. So the why to calculate this much of the derivation part and why to waste our time. So I wrote so by explaining that RS is the only in series connection with the ZI. So RS will plus to the added to the ZI. So ZI is equal to RS plus ZI. I wrote like that simply. The similar way, if you go for that output admittance also, so there I didn't find the way to write the equation in the form of ZI. Okay, so why? Because so there what I wrote, so why not S equal to IC divided by VC. Okay, so IC is equal to what is the formula? HFE IB plus HOE VC. So in this equation what I wrote, so I took VC as common, VC IC by VC, that is equal to HFE IB divided by, and this is VC plus HOE. This is the way simplest way. So in this equation, I didn't find that ZI. So to write in the form of ZI. So this is the way I followed for the calculation of output admittance. Okay, here my question is, so how I can relate this equation IB by VC. So for that, what I gone for, so VB. Okay, so that suppose if you take VS or RS IS plus HIE IS plus HRE. Okay, so from this I made VS equal to 0 and I took IS as common. Okay, I took IS as common. Then I wrote IS divided by VC equal to minus HRE divided by RS plus HI. This is my derivation part. Okay, but if you see the derivation part, where did you find that ZI value? But if you see here, we find the ZI value here. The input impedance or current gain or voltage gain. So by taking that source transformation theorem or Dirichlet's equation, we have some ZI parameter we took and we paid it. But in the output admittance, so output admittance we completely output current by completely output voltage. There we can't find that input impedance. So, but of course you can use that input parameters for the calculation of output admittance. But that ZI is not coming anywhere in this derivation part. So for that reason, so that we are not mentioning ZI. Suppose if we in this process somewhere if we got that ZI, so we could have mentioned with ZI only. But here in this process, we completely depends on the input equation, so that RS plus ZI is there. No, so this is nothing but source resistance by taking the source resistance. But in this derivation part, I didn't find that ZI term. So for that reason, I am not mentioning ZI in the output admittance. If I find some ZI equation and ZI relation, then I could have added that ZI also into the output admittance. Okay, but by taking the input, so this is my simplest way for the output admittance. This is my simplest way. So, but here I didn't find any ZI term. So that is the reason I'm not mentioning the ZI term in the output admittance. Is it clear?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Any others?